The Roth conversion window is smaller than you think. A lot of people assume that they can start converting in their 60s and spread it out over a long period of time. But in many cases, the math points to a much shorter window than that. If you want to wait too long, you'll end up paying significantly more in taxes than you ever needed to. Hi. My name is Philip Ramsey. I'm the president at Uncommon Wealth Partners, and I want to tell you about a conversion that I recently had with a couple that I just met with. They saved for 30 years, had accumulated about $1.3 million in retirement accounts, and they came in assuming they had 10, maybe 15 years to figure out that Roth conversion piece. I had to show them they had about 3, maybe 4. And they've already burned through 2 of their best years without even knowing it. Today, I'm going to show you exactly why that happened and what you can do to make sure it doesn't happen to you. Here's what I want you to walk away with by the end of this video, so you'll know exactly when your window opens and when it quickly closes. The number that you need to calculate before your next tax year, and the number that could be worth tens of thousands of dollars to you so you don't give it to the IRS. So stick with me. Let's start with the myth that kills most Roth conversion strategies before they even begin. The myth: they have plenty of time to do the conversion. Retire at 65, convert a little bit each year, you'll be fine. That's the conventional wisdom. Here's why that's wrong. The Roth conversion window, the period where the conversions make the most financial sense, is defined by 2 bookends. On the left, you stop working and your earned income drops. On the right side, required minimum distributions begin. Social Security kicks in fully, and your income climbs right back up. The space between those 2 events, that's your window. And that's the window that is far often shorter than people expect. For some households, it may be a few years. For others, it's a little longer, but rarely a decade plus that most people think. Think about that for a second. If you're 63 and you delay Social Security till 70, that's a 7-year window. Under current law, the RMDs generally begin at 75 for most retirees today, and age 75 for those who attain age 74 after December 31st, 2032. But once they start, they don't stop. Most people aren't maximizing the time they have. They convert small amounts, they stay cautious, they let the bulk of their pre-tax money grow while the clock runs out. Now, here's where things get interesting. Think about that inaction actually costs, not in theory, but in real dollars. Many retirees who delay the conversions may find themselves in a monetarily higher tax bracket than they were in retirement than they ever expected, especially once RMDs and Social Security are both in play. They didn't avoid tax at all. They simply moved in from one more expensive time to pay it. Here's how that math works. Let's say you have $1 million for easy math in a traditional IRA at 63. In those early years of retirement, you may be sitting on 12% tax bracket and you convert $50,000 a year for 7 years. That's $350,000 moved to a Roth at a lower marginal rate than you face later. Depending on the future income and tax law, walk through this with me. Your traditional account doesn't sit still, it keeps growing. So by the time the RMDs begin, balance could be significantly higher than when you started. The IRS then forces you to take an increased percentage at that balance taxed at ordinary income. You didn't save money at all by waiting. You deferred the problem, and now it's compounded. Now, every time I walk through this, with one concern comes up, and it's a reasonable one. People say, but what about my Medicare premiums? Because once your income crosses a certain threshold, Medicare Part B and Part D, they become increasingly significant. That surcharge is called IRMAA. And yes, it's real. But here's what I see happen consistently. The fear of a higher Medicare bill for 1 or 2 more years takes people out of the conversions that they may reduce their lifetime taxes far more than the temporary IRMAA increases. Depending on your situation, you don't avoid the IRMAA by converting less. You just trade a small short-term cost for a much larger long-term one. It's not a good trade. If you're watching this and you're thinking, that sounds like my situation. Large pre-tax IRA, delayed in Social Security, not sure how much to convert, you're not alone. This is exactly what we help clients walk through at Uncommon Wealth Partners. If you want someone to run your specific numbers and identify your window, and book a time with me, the link is in the description below. Now, let's talk about what happens when the window shuts. Once RMDs begin, the required distributions amount generally increases over time. The IRS Uniform Lifetime Table factor drops from 26.5 at age 73 to 20.2 at age 80, meaning the larger slice of your account becomes taxable every income year. Those distributions stack on top of Social Security, and they can trigger IRMAA for married couples, there's a layer of almost no one plans for. When one spouse passes, the survivor files a single filer, now taxed at a higher rate. 2026, 22% tax bracket begins at $50,400 for singles, compared with $180,000 for married jointly. This is what planners call the widow's tax trap. A well-executed Roth conversion strategy during those years can help reduce this risk. Most advisors simply don't stress this enough. Here's what I work through with every client. 4 numbers. Once you have all these numbers, you know how to convert, when to convert, and what tax bracket to stop at. Let's go through them. Step 1, identify your income floor. Map out every source of guaranteed income, pension payments, your part-time job, rental income, annuity payments. This tells you the baseline bracket before conversions begin. Step 2, project your RMDs. Use the IRS Uniform Lifetime Table, like we talked about, to establish distributions at 73 for most retirees today, 75 if you're age 74 at 2032. And then based on that balance, conversion growth. Most people are shocked at how large these numbers get. Step 3 is to find the gap, the difference between your income floor and your projected RMD income, the taxable space available to fill the Roth conversions at today's rates. The gap is your opportunity. It has both specific number and amount and a hard expiration date. Step 4, build an annual conversion schedule. Work with your advisor to map out that plan that fills your lower brackets, the 12%, the 22%, without unnecessary triggering IRMAA or crossing into the 24% tax bracket unless the math supports it. This isn't a one-time decision. It's an annual recalibration based on your income that you and your advisor can figure out. The account balances, the tax projection, there's a lot of things that go into this. Now, the right conversion amount looks very different for everyone. If your projected tax rate in retirement is lower than your working years, the math changes pretty significantly. If a large deduction or charitable giving, pull out taxable income down, changes that thing as well, the calculation. That's why we must build a plan specifically around your specific plan, not just some rule you read online. Here's the thing no one tells you. RMDs are mandatory taxable withdrawals under the current law, effectively forcing collection mechanism to build the tax code. The window exists because of the brief gap in schedule where they haven't gotten you yet. Most retirees sleepwalk right through it and spend the years paying for that mistake. You now know what the gap looks like and how to exactly avoid it. The question is whether you act or not, while you still can, or wait until the window closes and you become frustrated and you can't go back. If you want to start helping identify your Roth conversion window and build a strategy around your specific numbers and your income, I'd love to talk through your situation. Book a time with me at Uncommon Wealth Partners. The link is in the description below. Thank you for your time and see you in the next video.